Cool. So we're back after a pretty disappointing winter between the super cold temps, freezing everything up, and the creek not having enough water to run power. I had water all winter, which was awesome. But it's spring now, so just heading up to the intake here to see if we can get the power going again. I currently don't have any water, so there's something going on with the system, but anyway, we'll see what's going on once we get to the intake. All right, so it looks like we got lots of flow coming, which is great. This is the pipe, carries it to the blue barrel. Let's go see if there's anything coming out of the intake. Oh, aha. So my clean out is open. Oh no. Haha. So my clean out blew off. So all the water is coming into the barrel and then just draining out here. I found the problem. That's an easy fix. Okay, so there's a few things that I like about this system and a few things that I really don't like. I like the lid. It allows access to turning the main penstock there on and off. That's really useful. I like the idea of the blue barrel, kind of with the screen on the intake pipe, like on the penstock. That's really useful. I like kind of the whole idea of like collecting water and then sending it to this blue barrel. But that's about it. Things that need improvement are basically this is not sloped down enough. So I think it's flat, it's almost rising up. So it has a hard time taking everything that comes from this box and putting it in the blue barrel fast enough. It's a 4-inch pipe, but it's kind of, yeah, it just has a hard time because of the slope getting that water into the barrel. This whole screen system, I've done a few of them now with this finer metal screen on top and this thicker metal underneath to give it density. But the problem I ran into is you can kind of see that the water sticks to this metal screen. And so it was just basically sticking to these two screens and then rolling over the front of the box. So I had to push that in. But you can also see there's a giant piece of screen just missing. So there's always like holes in this screen, even with this kind of beefier metal screen in behind it to support it. And then you can see the plastic I put in to keep the water from like leaking out of all the different seams has like peeled off the box and is now just kind of a mess everywhere. It's kind of plugging the front of the intake pipe here so that not as much water is running in there too. And then finally, this whole thing between the rock and the intake here. Not so bad now, but in the winter when there was less flow, it was kind of hugging that rock and flowing in behind. You can see how much water there still is in behind, so just like not capturing all the water with this. And then I tried to put that wax across here, but with the snow pushing against the screen and it moving every time the intake moves, it broke that seal and then the water would go in behind again. So with that being proven to be like quite important that I collect all the water in the winter when the flow is not that much, yeah, it'd be nice. So that system didn't really work. It'd be nice to collect all the water. So I'm gonna rethink the whole intake and see if I can come up with a better plan that kind of covers all the things that I don't like so I can improve them, but kind of keep the things that I do like. So we'll see what I come up with. But for now, yeah, this intake was functional for a little bit, but a little too much maintenance. So I'm hoping this is the final rendition of the intake. It's basically going to be like a little dam. So it's going to sit in a different spot on the creek like this. I'm going to hammer these rebar all the way down into the ground so it doesn't move. Dig dirt up all the way around it. And basically this will be kind of like where the intake to the blue barrel goes. In here, out that hole, back into the blue barrel. The rest of the system will be the same. But yeah, I've been having issues with that intake. I'm going to drag this up there, put it in today, and hopefully this will solve the the issue of the intake once and for all. Well, I don't want to say I regret building the whole thing and then trying to hump it up here. The four-wheeler got stuck with the trailer, so I'm just doing it by hand. Hopefully it gets up there in one piece. Woo! Okay, bit of a battle, but we got the dam up here. I think this is gonna be the new spot here. I was just playing in the creek a little bit, so it's a bit dirty, but I think we'll put the dam here. It'll kind of back the water up, kind of nice little bit there. Come out to the blue barrel, which I'll set up here, and then we'll link into the pipe, which is currently just down there. And so hopefully this will all go swimmingly. Ooh. Ooh, this is a little bit of work, but I got the barrel out. I got the box. It covers this. And I've dug out where the barrel is going to go there, the box, and then the clean out will be in this trench here. So just go ahead and throw those guys in there. I'm sure it'll be no problem at all. This is the culprit of so much frustration. So this kind of sits in the barrel. That's the penstock intake. And when I drilled these holes, I basically just drilled right through while it was in the barrel. And then all those little plastic pieces ended up inside here. So when I turned the system on, those little plastic pieces got flushed down the entire penstock and clogged the nozzles of the turbine. You can imagine how many plastic pieces there were in there with this many holes. So that was a tough lesson learned. But I think we got all the plastic out over a month or so. But anyway, I'm gonna put some screen on this, hold it down with some hose clamps and zip ties. That seemed to work really well from keeping big chunks from getting in down the penstock. And then we'll put it back in. All right. So I got the penstock all hooked up. That was quite interesting to wrestle over here. I put a hole through this board that sits on the clean out, and that just keeps the penstock from moving around where it enters the barrel there. Then I rebuilt that little box. So it's not super stable because I haven't backfilled it yet. But here's your ball valve for the penstock. I've attached this whole thing back together. I added this in. I got tired of like taking this apart every time I didn't want water in the blue barrel. So I have this now with a little, you can just unscrew that and the water will come out here instead of going into the blue barrel, or most of it at least. Then we go through the dam wall. I forgot my hole stuff, but I'm gonna basically cut a bunch of holes in here, wrap this whole thing in screen so that, it filters out all the sediment. But basically just need to backfill all this, backfill this guy here, and then we'll just be just about ready to start her up. Woohoo! I'm excited to see how this one works. All right, well, there's nothing left to do but to get her going. Box is done, penstock with the clean out underneath. Right now it's turned off. No water gets down the penstock because it might get a little dirty. Got the overflow for the blue barrel where it goes in. Made a nice little slide for the top of the dam if it ever overflows, which it shouldn't really. Most of the water should be going down the pipe. Got the mesh on that pipe, and then I siliconed all the way around it and then put some more resisto with a zip tie on it. So hopefully that'll prevent water from getting out of there. But we'll have to wait and see. But anyway, let's fill this box up, see what happens. Well, I was pretty close to getting her done. This actually filled up and was coming out here. But then we had a catastrophic failure. And the whole dam, when it was full, kind of lifted. So it started leaking around this way, started leaking around this way. And eventually the whole back lifted, pushed this whole dirt wall out from in front of it. And then with a flood of water, lifted my blue barrel and deposited a whole bunch of stuff underneath it. So now you can see that this pipe is not flat anymore. It rises up quite a bit to here. This roof on this box is not flat anymore. It actually pushed up onto the barrel. Anyway, whole bunch of stuff. So I think tomorrow I gotta dig it all out and try again. Crap. Whoa, okay, got everything hooked back up here. That's the penstock. The clean out is underneath, going into the blue barrel, coming from the dam into the top. I shortened this because I'm gonna backfill the whole front of the dam there, except for that, and then both sides. And once that's all backfilled, I can't do that till the water, right now the water is running out from under in that corner. So kind of all at once I need to like block that little hole, then backfill all the dirt, backfill on the inside as the water builds up. And that's kind of what happened last time, is I didn't do it fast enough, and the pressure of the building water in here blew out that hole and flooded everything. So I must work efficiently. This is leaking, flowing down through here. So I can't tell. It was actually leaking from around the side of the dam. So I don't know if it's still leaking down there. I can't fill it in because I need to fix that, because that's leaking and washing it all out. I know silicone's not the answer, because as soon as that thing moves, it's gonna break and leak all the time. So I went out and got, this is a 4-inch, I don't know, threaded ABS fitting. I just made this gasket out of some rubber, and then this one's a female thread, so hopefully I can put this through the hole with a gasket on one side and the pipe going in here, pipe coming out here, screw them together, and as you screw it together it'll tighten down on this gasket, and hopefully that will be waterproof. And I'm cautiously optimistic yet again, so let's go try it out. Well, I'm smiling for the time being. Looks like the install went pretty well. Just had to cut around the outside so that this piece would fit. But I don't think I see any leaks coming from underneath. And the inside just looks like that. And that's just hand tightened, as tight as I could make it. But yeah, let me put it all back together and see if it holds. Well, I wasn't really expecting this. It's filled up over, like it's flowing over the whole thing. The hole's not big enough. What do I do now? It's pouring over the other side. Oh God! Oh my God! I need to make this like 3 times as big. Shoot! Man, this just never ceases to be easy. Oh well, should we just watch the chaos ensue? Not much I can do about it now. Okay, I think we're having fun. So I ripped the screen off the end of this. It's hard to see, but I think the water was just having trouble getting in there. So the water's pouring down there. It's like literally as much as that 4-inch pipe can take, because it's coming out the overflow. which means that the blue barrel is full, and it's also a ton coming out the clean out. So the clean out's a 3-inch pipe, so it's coming in with a full 4, coming out a full 3, and that's the leftover there. But once the penstock is open as well, remember, like, I don't have any water usage right now, so yeah, once the turbine is on and I'm using water at my house, hopefully that'll work just about perfect. I just need to figure out how to keep that maximum amount of water going in here while keeping some sort of filter on it so the particles don't get in and the leaves and stuff. Cool, so I'm just getting back. I've been gone about 2 weeks. Just kind of let this flush itself out. Everything still appears to be working, so that's great. Got a little bit of overflow here. Oh shoot! That thing just fell off, I guess. That's kind of weird. And then we have a lot of overflow in the blue bucket. This is just the last overflow valves. I don't really know how to clean that out, so I guess that's just gonna do that. But there's a lot of overflow out of the blue barrel. Let's see how much is coming out. Not much is coming out of the bottom, so I don't know what's going on in that blue barrel, but it looks like it's not quite coming out the bottom of the blue barrel. And I gotta fix that thing at the intake, but we'll do a little bit of work here. This is what I just kind of made to go on the end of the intake, so the holes are a little bit bigger than that finer screen. So hopefully with that on the end of the intake, plus all the holes around the outside, should allow enough water in. But anyway, we'll have a quick look to see what's going on in here, and we'll go from there. Okay, so upon further inspection, I notice it's been destroyed around the outside here. So my guess is that some animal fell in here and then destroyed it trying to get out. Probably didn't get out, knocked this thing off, and then got sucked through that pipe and is now stuck in the blue barrel, which is kind of gross. Probably at the bottom, blocking water from going down through the intake. Is my guess as to what happened. That's a bummer. They ripped all that resisto off and did all... Anyway, I guess we'll go see what's in there, but it doesn't look like it's a small animal. There's some pretty good damage. But, I don't even know how to pull something big out of that blue barrel. So it looks like I was correct. I don't know what it is, but something's dead in there. Man, it's always something. How do I prevent animals from falling in here now? Put a little fence around it? Oh, man. The things that you just don't expect. Whew! Well, great news. This is my dead animal. It's just a chunk of grass. Oh, that's much less gross than I thought. So I just cleaned that out. We'll get her going again. And turn the system on. See if we can get some power today. Okay, so we got our clean out capped there. We got our overflows given her on the blue barrel. Got quite a bit of pour over from the dam. But we got our penstock open. So the penstock is filling right now. And then hopefully once we get the micro hydro going, the overflow will calm down a little bit. But I like this, right? The point is that the leaves and stuff kind of come over the top instead of down into the intake there. So, but anyway, penstock is filling, and I think we'll have enough water in the pipe here shortly to go turn the power on. So that's great. Let's go do that. All right, back in the powerhouse. We're steady at 140 PSI. So I didn't actually lose much PSI by moving the intake there. And yeah, it's all set to fire this bad boy up. Hasn't been running since, oh, I don't know, last September. It is now May, so this is exciting. No leaks, that's good. We'll open her up. Alright, so it looks like the batteries are charging. Those lights are blinking there. We're about 500 watts at 120 volts. And I have all my everything turned off right now. Just trying to charge the batteries basically. So yeah, we'll try to charge the batteries back up to I don't know, hopefully they go more than 50 to 60% like last year, but haven't done anything differently, so I don't suspect that they'll get fully charged, but that'll be a this summer. Try to figure it out this summer. But anyway, we got power, batteries are charging, and I am happy. Awesome.